Questions 1 through 10 of the 1998 grade 11 Fermat math contest is what I will discuss in this video. The value of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 over 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 8 plus 10 is. So I wrote this out, and the numerator adds to 15 and the denominator adds to 30. And therefore, if you reduce this to lowest terms, it is 1 over 2. So the answer is C. The pie chart shows a percentage breakdown of 1,000 votes in a student election. How many votes did Sue receive? Okay, so Jim received 20% of the 1,000 votes. So that would be 0.2 times 1,000, which is 200. And then Jane received 45% of the 1,000 votes. So that would be 450. And therefore Sue received the remainder of the votes. So you just take 1,000 and subtract 200 and 450. And that would be 350 votes for Sue. So the answer is B. If WXYZ is a parallelogram, then T equals. All right, so because it's a parallelogram, these two sides, right here and right here, have the same length. So we are given some coordinates on the x-axis, and that will help us. So this is 5 and this is -1. So the length here is 5 minus -1, which is 6. And therefore the length here will have to be the same. So looking at the x-coordinates of z and y, it will be t minus 4 is equal to the length, and we know that the length is 6. So there you have it. So therefore t is equal to 10. So the answer to number 3 is C. The product of two positive integers p and q is equal to 100. What is the largest possible value of p plus q? Okay, so there's several ways of doing this. There's inspection, there's prime factors. If you break up 100 into its prime factors, there's quite a few, right? You've got, let's say, 1, 2, 4, there's many, 5, 10, 20, 50. I think there's a 25 in there, 100. So there's quite a few. But whenever you have questions talking about largest or smallest, always go for extreme case scenarios. So the extreme case scenario to make two numbers multiply to become 100 is just 1 and 100, like this. 1 times 100. And that, of course, is 100. And therefore, p plus q would be 1 plus 100. And that is, of course, 101. And of the answer choices, 101 is the largest. So there you go. The answer is B. If this symbol right here is a new operation defined as p symbol q is equal to p squared minus 2q, what is the value of 7 symbol 3? All right, so p and this symbol here, q, equals p squared minus 2q. So they're asking you, what is 7 symbol 3? Well, you use the same formula, so it would be 7 squared minus 2 times 3. And that is, of course, 49 minus 6, which is equal to 43. And that would be choice A. 1/3 of 6 to the power of 30 is. So we have 6 to the power of 30 times 1/3. Okay? Well, where do you go from here? We got 6 to the power of 30 over 3, and that's none of the answer choices. So we obviously have to manipulate this in some way. So I'll break it up into 6 to the power of 1 and 6 to the power of 29 and over 3, and therefore 6 over 3 is equal to 2, and this becomes 2 times 6 to the power of 29. And that matches choice D. The mean of a list of 10 numbers is 0. If 72 and negative 12 are added to the list, the new average, the new mean, will be. Alright, so we've got a list of 10 numbers, x1 plus x2 all the way up to x10. And if you divide by 10, you'll get the average, and they're saying the average is 0. Alright? So if you cross multiply by 10, you will get that the sum of these numbers is 10 times 0, which is 0. Now what they're saying is that you've added 2 additional numbers. So now you've got x1 plus x2 all the way up to x10, but you've added 72 and negative 12. And this new average, they want you to figure out. So now you're not going to divide by 10, you're going to divide by 12, because there's now 12 numbers. You have the original 10 and 2 additional ones. Now, this part here, x1 through x10, we know the sum is 0. So you just put that in there, and then you get 72 minus 12 over 12. And that looks like 60 over 12. And of course, that is equal to 5. So the answer here would be choice E. On a rectangular table 5 units long and 2 units wide, a ball is rolled from point P at an angle of 45 degrees to PQ. So this is 45. And it bounces off SR. The ball continues to bounce off the sides at 45 degrees until it reaches S. How many bounces of the ball are required? Alright, let's draw this diagram a bit bigger. And let's label this diagram now. We've got P here, Q, S, and R. And this is 5, and this is a length of 2. So what's happening here? Well, you've got P is where the ball starts, and at a 45 degree angle, it travels to SR, like that. So this angle in here is 45 degrees. And then, as the question states, it bounces off SR, which is right here, and it goes to the other side, again, at 45 degrees. So this is, again, 45 degrees right here. And this process continues. So it'll probably go here next, and then it'll come back here, and then it'll come back to here, and then finally it will reach S. So what they're asking for is how many bounces of the ball are required. Well, let's count the number of bounces. Initially it came here, so that's 1 bounce. Then it came here, 2 bounces, 3 bounces, 4 bounces, 5 bounces. So the answer is 5. But the key to this question is not just drawing out the diagram. What if I drew the diagram wrong? What if it was more? You have to understand that this all matches the numbers that they gave you. They gave you the numbers for a reason. Otherwise, what's the point of telling you that it's 5 and 2? The reason they gave you the numbers is because when you draw it out like this, it will all match. So for example, if you were to draw a perpendicular, say from here to here, and you were to calculate the distance from here to here, you will see that it is 2. And that's fairly easy to do, right? Because this is 45 degrees, this is 45, so this is going to be an isosceles triangle. And we know that from here to here is 2. So therefore from there to there is 2. And then similarly, you'll find that this is 2. And by the same principle, you can figure out this, or you can just subtract 2 and 2 from 5 and get 1. And similarly, since this is 45 degrees and that's 45 degrees, this is isosceles, and therefore this is 1. And in a very similar way, you can figure out all of these distances, and they will all match. They will all add up to give you the side lengths. And therefore, you know that you drew this diagram properly according to the information given in the question. The number in an unshaded square is obtained by adding the numbers connected to it from above. So for example, 11 here is one such number because it's 5 plus 6. The value of x must be. Alright, so I'm going to have to draw this a bit bigger. And let's start to fill in all the numbers. So we've got 5, 6, x, and 7. And this is 11. Now how did we get 11? Well, that was because 5 and 6 are added together. So similarly, to fill in these boxes, you add the numbers that are above it. And same thing here, this is x plus 7. This, of course, would be 11 plus 6, which is 13, plus x. This would be 6 plus x plus 7, which is 13 plus 2x. And sorry, this is not 13. This is 17. And finally, these ones, which looks like 17 plus x plus 13 plus 2x, which is 30 plus 3x. All right? Now, they've told you this last box is equal to 60. So that means this last box, 30 plus 3x, is equal to 60. Okay? So that means that 3x is equal to 30, and therefore x is equal to 10. So the answer here is 9E. Four points on a line segment are shown. AB to BC is 1 to 2, and BC to CD is 8 to 5. Find the ratio of AB to BD. All right, let's draw this out a bit bigger. And let's label this now. So AB to BC, they're telling you is 1 to 2. So AB to BC is 1 to 2, so I'll call it x and 2x, like that. And then BC to CD is a ratio of 8 to 5, so I'll call it 8y and 5y, like that. They want you to figure out the ratio of AB to BD. All right, so AB I have denoted as x, and BD is this whole length right here. It looks like 8y plus 5y, which is 13y. All right, we've got two variables here. We've got x over 13y, and that's not going to give us a ratio. But the good news is that from my diagram right here, 2x is the same as 8y. So that means x is the same as 4y. So I can substitute that into here. So we've got 4y over 13y, and the y's cancel, and therefore you get just 4 over 13. And therefore the ratio is choice A.